I'm Andre Lawrence, and this is Questions on the Red Couch. How would you describe growing up in the Upper West? Well, it was a very wholesome experience. I think it's a cool, section of New York City. A lot of New York is like this now, but it's definitely got a very strong dichotomy of rich people and people who are still in the street a little bit. And there was just a lot of skateboarding and smoking weed with my friends. And just I went to elementary and middle school 3 blocks away from my house. So everything was kind of surrounding this neighborhood. And now it's kind of grown into this way where I'm just so habitual there. And we just hang out at the skate shop and go to Mama's 2. Shout out to Mama's 2. Shout out to Ben and Jerry's. Shout out everything in that radius. Shout out the Goat Park. Shout out Riverside Park. It was a very wholesome experience. And I think that everyone should go there and experience it, even when some parts of the Upper West suck and it's the worst. And there are a lot of annoying, kind of snobby people on West End and Central Park West. But if you're on Amsterdam or Columbus and you're in the right part, you're it's the best. Shout out the Upper West. Oh, this is such a good question, actually. What made you change your name from Industrial Dre to Andre Lawrence? Basically, Industrial Dre was kind of this extension of Industrial Denim. So Industrial Denim was the album that I had come up with. And for 2 years now, it's been in the making, I guess. Really a year and a half, but 2 years I've had the idea with the name and everything. And then I just picked Industrial Dre because I couldn't come up with anything else. It wasn't this is perfect. It was nothing else is. So this is the closest to it. And then at one point, Lawrence is my middle name, Andre is my first name. It's I had to, that's the closest to myself I could get, I felt and it wasn't an extension of the album. And it felt like something I could be 45 years old and be yeah, this is me because it's my name on my birth certificate. And I think that's pretty cool. Industrial Dre isn't dead though. The brand didn't change at all. Nothing of my vision has changed. It's just Industrial Dre is now kind of the moniker for this stage of life and this album. And when we go on to the next thing, it'll be what it'll be. So, super facts. Where does your love for denim pieces come from? Well, basically, I used to wear joggers. Anybody that knows a kid that wears, everyone knows a kid who wears joggers. The pockets are too shallow and they bunch together at your ankles. And it was cool for a time. And then I guess I was I had started getting really into hip hop in middle school and early high school. I was in love with this 90s era of hip hop. And I was also introduced to the movie Kids in mid 90s. And I was really skating a lot and seeing a lot of skating kids. And so I was kind of always trying to be like that. And I would just get my jeans really oversized and buy all these different denims from L Train and Crossroads and Buffalo Exchange. And I would just start wearing a lot of baggy jeans because all these cool skater kids were wearing baggy jeans. And then once I really got in depth with the hip hop stuff and started finding out what brands were cool and getting Fat Farm and getting Sean John and getting all these. I mean, that's not to say Diddy is still canceled. I'm not wearing Sean John very frequently anymore. But I will say that South Pole, Polo, Tommy, all these different jean brands. And then I'm just getting really into the jeans and I'm trying to just find them shit. So yeah, that's where the love really comes from. And my dad just has a lot of cool jeans, So, bro, these are the best fucking questions ever. All right. Favorite Seinfeld character and why? Okay. This is such a hard question because at a time, we can't really I can't ever say Kramer or Seinfeld anymore because they're both super cancelable and both are kind of moving suspectly. I'm very I feel like George many points of the day. I feel very George. And Elaine is the GOAT too. Oh, that's actually mad hard. I feel like it's George. I also like the guy at Monk's Cafe who's always like scolding them because like they be just like mad obnoxious, and he always puts them in their place correctly. And this is also kind of controversial, but like Soup Hitler is a goat. He really like was holding it down for Soup in New York City, and that episode is like one of my favorite episodes. So shout out to Soup Hitler. But that's he was the GOAT. Name an artist you'd like to work with. There's this guy named They Love XV. If he would work with me, I would love for him to work with me. You feel me? No, that's one of my good friends, and he's really good. And we work together all the time. I want to work with Pharrell. I want to work with, not all the time, but frequently enough that it wouldn't be a good answer. Anyway, I want to work with Pharrell. I want to work with like a lot of people who are dead, so I couldn't work with them. But like out of the dead people, I want to work with like Amy Winehouse, Biggie, Otis Redding, mad artists. Obviously, a Nas feature would be ill. Jay-Z, obviously, but these are just like givens. Also, Tommy Richmond, hit me up, bro. We should link. Anyway. If he sees that, that's pretty embarrassing, but it's okay. What's your deli order? Right now, I'm really rocking chicken cutlet, cheddar cheese, touch of mayo, avocado, lettuce, tomato on a roll. How do you balance being an artist and a student? I don't. I'm failing everything. There is no proficiency on the school side right now. Before, I would balance it, and I just wasn't doing that good as an artist. And now it's just like, like I'm mad dedicated to being an artist, and like I hate being a student. I'm a student of the game. I'm a student of life. I like reading books. I like watching YouTube, but like doing terrible in school right now. I'm not balancing it very well at all. But I like seeing my friends at school. I love everyone I met through school. Stay in school and, don't do drugs. How do you meet Arlo Walker? So there's this rapper. His name is Lord Sco. Now, this rapper, Lord Sco, me and him also have a crazy story of meeting, but we were friends. He was like my first rapper friend. And he was like, yo, I got this kid. He's mad good. He's at sampling, and me and him are making an album. Like, you got to meet him. Like, we're doing this studio session tomorrow, and he's like coming all the way down from Vermont. He's like at his grandparents' crib in Vermont or something, and he's coming all the way down from Vermont to be at the session. So I walk into the session, and Arlo is there with this other kid I know, and it turns out we both are in the same Jewish youth movement since we were kids, and our parents are from the same Jewish youth movement, and we have all these like mutuals. And so like we were like, all right, cool. And ever since then, like now we're just like locked in, and that's one of my best friends 100%. And we're releasing a classic album, and it's a cool meeting story, I guess. Very coincidental. Who's someone that inspires you? This is like corny, but it's not at all. My grandmother is basically like a war hero in the Holocaust, and she's done like the shit that she did at an age younger than me is like absolutely insane to me. And like, I think that a lot of the hearing stories about that as a kid and like going to events for it and just like getting familiar with who she really was is very inspiring to me, because she's just a GOAT. And like, rest in peace. I love her to death, but like that is definitely someone who inspires me. And yeah. What can we expect on your upcoming project? Okay. So Industrial Denim is basically this culmination of music that me and Arlo made over the past like year and a half, right? Like, I mean, it's been done for a while, but it's existed for a while, but it's really a lot of heavy soul samples, thick bass lines. It feels very New York, but it also feels super youthful and refreshing. I think that there's a lot of like ambition. The lyrics are very ambitious, and it's like trying to kind of foresee this like concept of greatness. And it's also us just really like locking in and meshing together creatively. It feels very big, but it also still feels very hip hop, and it still feels very close to the heart. And it's a great fucking album. Like I don't even know what else to say about that. A lot of cool samples, a lot of cool like interludes and stuff. It should be super dope. And that is the end of the Red Book.